You might want to make some flowers for springtime from some recycled materials. The first one, I used an egg carton for the main part of the flower. I cut 4 egg cups and I painted the center of the flower, and I glued that to a background cardboard, added a drinking straw for the stem, tore some paper from magazines for the leaves, added some cut paper around the center for the center of the flower. So that's one type of flower you might be able to make at home with some of your materials that are in your recycling. Another one is to use a plastic drinking bottle. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do that one today. If you take your drinking bottle that you have and cut it in half where there's a natural indentation, twist your drinking bottle and carefully cut across. So now I have 2 sections for my flower. I'm going to cut down the length of the long half, and at each end I'm going to curve each of those to the ends of the petals. And on this end, I'm going to cut, again, some strips down from the top towards the bottom. And I'm going to cut a different end on that one. Okay, now these 2 pieces have to fit together. So the next part is a little bit trickier. You're going to have to ask Mom or Dad to do the cutting for this part. You're going to need to cut a center hole in your water bottle. And that is the thickest part of the water bottle, so that will be a little tricky to get through. Once you get a hole started, you can work your way around. Again, make sure Mom or Dad does this part. Now we can take the long end of our water bottle and fold those back, and the short end will fit on top. You'll want to paint them or decorate them if you have those materials available. Acrylic paint works best. It sticks to the plastic easiest, so you can take some color and paint all the parts of your flower. Be creative. You might want to add some designs or blend some colors. let that part sit to the side. And we'll paint our second half. This part is going to bend the opposite direction, so we'll be painting on the inside. Make sure that you cover the area you're working with. If you are working with paints, I have newspaper down to protect the surface of my table. If you have clothing on that is something you don't want to get paint on, you might want to wear an apron or an old t-shirt like we do in school. Alright, now you should typically let this dry, but it is going to fit together this way, and we're going to take the cap from the water bottle and twist that in place. And when your flower is completely dry, you can bend those petals out a little further. I'm going to just touch up a little bit of extra paint in the center. And as I said, if you want to be creative with adding a little bit more color or more designs, you could certainly do that. Now, if you want your flower to have a stem, you should have something you could glue inside the back end of your water bottle cap. Maybe a pipe cleaner, a wire, a stick from outside. And that will have to be glued with a heavy-duty glue, so your parent will probably have to use a hot glue gun to attach whatever you're using for the stem. So I'm going to use a wire. I'm going to twist the wire so that it fits inside the cap of my water bottle. A little tighter. That's better. And I'm going to hot glue that right in place inside my flower. Be very careful. Make sure mom or dad does this part. And make sure no one touches near the hot glue. You can stick that right inside for your stem to hold your flower. And as I said, when it's dry, you can go ahead and fold out all those flower petals. You could even paint the center cap if you'd like to give that a little color as well. When it's all dry and you bend it out, it'll look something like my finished one. Hope you enjoyed that.